Hello lovelies. Welcome back to a Coffee with Cass. Before I get started, make sure that my French press is ready for me. Today's Coffee with Cass, I will be going through some questions and topics that you lovely sent in. So I'll be looking through those on my phone. I got a new phone case. Isn't it cool? So today I am drinking some Starbucks Christmas blend. It's a blend that I like for the holiday season and decided that I would make French press today. So that is what leave some for another cup. I also have a bit of creamer here to add. It is a caramel macchiato creamer that I will add a dash of. So, as usual, if you would like to grab a cup of coffee, tea, beverage, sit with me as we have a Coffee with Cass, using my big evil queen Snow White mug today. I didn't bring a spoon to mix my creamer, so I'm trying to mix it. Okay. My headphones have been driving me a little bit crazy because they won't uncrinkle, if you will. Alright, so first up we have any plans to do a tour of the new house? Yes, and I actually partially already did one. I'll link it on my vlog channel. I did, or my second channel, I did a empty house tour. Now, quite a lot of things have changed since then because I'm remodeling the home, making it mine, things of that nature. So you can see the empty house tour from right after I moved in. And once the house is closer to being complete with renovations and whatnot, I will do another tour of the changes that I have done. So if you want to see that, you can see that on my second channel. I would also really like to do an ASMR tour of my office here. I'm still piecing some things together, so it needs to be completed before I do that, but I'd like to do ASMR tour of my new office filming space. So if you guys would like to see that, please let me know. And then we have you ever filmed an ASMR video and didn't post it? Not often does this happen, which I guess is lucky, or maybe I'm not as picky. I have had some videos that I filmed and then something technical happens, whether that be the sound not working, which would be very pointless to post, the glitches on the screen, things of that nature. So in that case, I haven't posted them and I've actually had to refilm them. But in a general sense, I don't think there's been something that I haven't posted necessarily, but I have been doing this for many years now, so there might have been in the past some videos that I didn't post, or I didn't think were worthy, if you will. Most anticipated movie release of 2020. So I actually brought up a list because I was like, do I know what's coming out in 2020? And so I had found a list of like anticipated movies of this year, and I thought that I would just go down some of the ones that I'm interested in as we sit here and sip. So scroll down this list until we get to something. So, Birds of Prey is coming out, and I want to be excited for it. I'm a big fan of Birds of Prey. However, I question the need to make it about Harley Quinn. That's my thing. The Birds of Prey version that I loved and grew up with was very much centered around Oracle, Barbara Gordon, Helena Kyle, which was Batman and Catwoman's daughter, you know, these other awesome characters, female characters that were Birds of Prey. So the idea that this is kind of like a Harley standalone movie is weird to me, because she's not part of the Birds of Prey, you know, and she's like a villain, if you will. So it's a little weird for me. I will be seeing it. It's very interesting that it's rated R. So yes, I will be seeing it, but I'm a little hesitant because at least the version of Birds of Prey that I like, it's weird that Harley is the main focus of this. And that's not... I love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I think she did a really good job, but I don't know why the two are being combined. What else do we have coming out that looks good or interesting to me? Quiet Place Part 2 looks interesting. Looks like we're gonna get more of like the direct aftermath and then it continuing on, so looks interesting. Mulan also looks really interesting. Mulan is like my favorite Disney princess, if you will, but it's not like gonna have the songs or things like that. I think they did it to make it more accurate to Chinese culture, which I understand. I will miss the music though. I'm interested to see it. Because as I said, I do really like Mulan. What else do we have coming out? I'm skipping a lot, guys. I'm very picky about movies I want to see in theater too. Always have been. The Black Widow movie looks okay. Just like, you know, it looks interesting, so I'll probably see it at some point. Apparently Legally Blonde 3 is coming out this year. I didn't know that. First movie's really good and the second one's not good at all, so I don't know what they'll do with the third one. Wonder Woman 1984. I'm looking forward to this. Looks really good, the trailer that they've released. So I want to see that. What else do we have that I'm looking forward to? Free Guy. I actually just discovered this movie while looking at this list for this video. It's starring Ryan Reynolds, and it's like he lives in a video game world. It looks funny, and it's Ryan Reynolds. Come on now. Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm really looking forward to too. I want to know more about it. It after the remake really tanked, but I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did, but it tanked. This really seems like it's going to be a Ghostbusters sequel, And I believe the original cast is coming back, and the first trailer is definitely very interesting, so I want to know more about it and see it. I'm a big Ghostbusters fan, so if this is like a direct sequel, that's really what I wanted to begin with, so I'm very interested in that. Let's see. The new Conjuring one, The Devil Made Me Do It, which is a very interesting case. I may cover it in our Bizarre and Unusual World, but a very interesting case, and when you know like the history behind it, and I'm a fan of the Conjuring films, so I will be looking forward to that. What else do we have? I guess if this is accurate, the Witches remake is coming out this year. Anne Hathaway is going to be like the head witch, which that movie freaked me out as a kid. The original. Another Halloween movie is coming out. I guess it's going to be called Halloween Kills. I'm interested to see more of it, especially since Jamie Lee Curtis is involved, and I did like the newer one that they had that came out. Some of these movies I've never heard of. Maybe I'm just out of the loop, guys. Coming to America, which is like the sequel of the Eddie Murphy movie, which is a hilarious movie. I'm very interested to see what they do with that. And I think that's it. Now, not to say that there's not other movies coming out this year, but this was on a list of like, what was it, the 75 most anticipated movies, and so I just thought I would share some of the ones that I'm looking forward to. Let's see. How did you get into making ASMR videos? Any tips for those wanting to get into doing the same? I get this question quite often. I got into making ASMR because I have anxiety myself, and I was watching whisper videos and unintentional ASMR for a while, and one night I decided I wanted to start my own ASMR channel, and I just went ahead and did it. And I really wanted to try and help people if they were experiencing anxiety like I was. So that was like the whole idea of my channel, was to try and help people. And tips for starting, I always just say like, just start recording something. It may take you a little bit to get comfortable in front of the camera or find out what style of videos you want to do, and it's up to you, it's your channel. When I started, I just started making different types of videos, whether that be role plays or trigger videos or different things, and you just gotta play around with it and see which type of videos you want to make and what you're comfortable with, and yeah, just jump right in. That's my advice. And you also don't have to have like the fancy equipment when you're starting out. I didn't. I had just like this video camera that I used to go. Now I have a special microphone, but like, you don't have to jump into having like a 3D microphone or anything like that. Especially since like the lo-fi videos are still extremely popular, so don't let that discourage you that you like have to have like fancy equipment to start a channel. Just go for it. What do you think about the coronavirus outbreak? Are you worried? So in the anxiety part of my brain, I'm freaked out because I think it's going to become like a horror movie. And then the more logical side of my brain takes in the statistics of, you know, how this is affecting people and how to prevent it, and you know, the numbers of people that die from the regular flu every year and things of that nature. So I try to be more logical, but like the anxiety side of me is like, I don't want to go out. I'll just stay and hide in my house so I don't get sick, because I'm already a weak immune system, so I don't need to be getting sick. Have you ever wanted to collab with anyone for either of your channels? Most definitely. I feel like I would love to collab with people in real life, like this year or something, but that might be overdoing it. I would love to, like do ASMR collabs with people in like real life, or I've done a lot of different collabs just like via the internet, sharing parts and things like that, and I love collab videos. So that would be really cool if I could do something like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Same with my second channel. I would love to, like, I don't know, for like my Bazaar series or something, like talk with similar minded people about paranormal stuff, or like bizarre and unusual topics, or even like collabs, like, chatting about Star Wars or other topics that I'm into. I would love to do different collabs with people. I think it's a lot of fun, but I take the opportunities as they come, if you will. Travel is an exciting topic for me. And where do you want to go and why? I want to go so many places, especially after this December. I went to California for the first time. I'd never been to California, and it was purely a Disneyland trip with my best friend. Neither of us had ever been to Disneyland, and I had so much fun. Just an incredible time. She was like the best travel partner ever. I'm so glad I went with her, and it made me want to travel more. And so we are potentially planning other trips. We've talked about like doing Disney World together, things like that, so we may do things like that. Like I said, really good travel buddy. But I would love to go a lot of places within the United States I haven't been to, and places I want to travel to, and then there's places like outside the United States that I would love to go to. Dreaming wise, I would love to see like a million different places in Italy. I've always wanted to go to Italy. Greece just looks beautiful. I want to go there. And I've always wanted to go to England and Ireland and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of places within the United States, as I said, that I would love to go to. I want to go to Hawaii really bad. Really bad. I want to go somewhere tropical, if you will. And then there's like the places outside the United States that I also want to go to, that maybe someday. Bucket list for me definitely has different like travel experiences. So I also want to go back to Disneyland because I had such a fun time. I would like to ask, how do you choose which roleplay to do? So I take into consideration your guys' comments and requests a lot, and then I really do things that I'm inspired by. If I'm watching something, like I watched through The Mandalorian and I wanted to do a Baby Yoda inspired roleplay, so I did. If I'm listening to music or watching a movie, things like that, I'll take inspiration from those things and turn it to an ASMR spin. I love doing that. So it's a nice mix of things that inspire me or requests that you guys have commented or said you want to see. I'm working on Roleplay Month now that is fully dedicated to your guys' requests and things like that, and there's a lot of really great ones that I'm in the works with. So yeah, it's a little happy medium of my inspiration, your guys' comments, things like that. It's good coffee. Let's see. Have you ever thought about doing your own custom superhero or villain ASMR characters and stories like Ephemeral Rift does? That sounds super fun. I would like have to plan it out, like a storyline, backstory of my character or something like that. But yeah, that sounds like really interesting. I'd love to do something like that. Ephemeral Rift has been around for a while, like me too, and his creativity is always very inspiring. But yeah, I think I would like to do that at some point. Who's your favorite musician or genre of music? So I love so much music. These questions are always so hard for me because my shuffle list, guys, it just goes all over the board. for favorite musician, my go-to is like Joan Jett. Big fan of her. I've seen her 3 times, you know, so I like that style of music. I guess you could say more 80s, whatever, but I pretty much like music from like the roaring 20s all the way up to modern music. In every style and genre, I have so many favorites. More modern, I've really been into Halsey lately, and I want to go see her in concert. I love her music and I love her, so that's more modern look. But then, you know, it's like I said, every genre, there's different moods, or if I want pop, or if I want rock, if I want country, if I want like more electronic, if I want all these different things. So I can't really say a favorite genre because I like all of them pretty much, and musicians changes quite often, if you will. Music is always just like extremely important to me. Let's see. I already did that one. Most drastic haircut and or worst haircut and or future plans for your hair. Okay, so I don't think I've ever had a worst haircut. I've never really had anything that I hated. Drastic haircut, I was younger, and it was like the first time that I really chopped off all my hair, and that was like a shock, but I really wanted to do it, so it worked out. It was a shock at first though. But I mean, I've done a lot of stuff with my hair. I've done like the platinum blonde, that is how I started my channel. I've done different bright colors, things like that. So drastic things for me doesn't always like mesh because it's just hair. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I've never had anything that I hated. I like to switch it up and have fun with it and everything like that. I've had the red for a really long time, and I'm wondering if I want a big change that I'm kind of toying with. Gotta talk to my hairdresser because she works the magic, you know. But yeah, I don't know if I've ever had anything that I've hated or anything. Drastic is just like when I really go short. One time I went really short, like it was pretty short in the back, and then kind of like went down my face. The blonde was definitely the most upkeep because I have dark brown hair naturally, so the bleach blonde hair like felt like a day later and I had roots, so it's a lot of upkeep. But yeah, I might be changing it up a little bit. I think maybe I want something different. Sorry if it's too personal, but you identify yourself as straight. I guess we'll go with that. It'll just be an air of mystery. Any movies or shows you're looking forward to in 2020? So I did the movies, shows offhand, you know, Kenobi. If they don't screw it up, please don't screw up the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie or show, I mean. Don't mess it up. I'd love to see something like that, but here's this image, and you Star Wars fans can tell me if I'm wrong or not, okay? So in the first Maleficent movie, she's like watching Aurora, and she's like, look, the little beastie's gonna fall off the cliff or whatever, right? I picture that being Obi-Wan with little Luke. Like, oh shit, he's gonna fall down the sand dunes. Like, we better like lift him up with the Force and save him. Like, I picture that being Obi-Wan's whole life. Realistically, that would be a very boring show, but comically, in my head, I think that's really funny. This idea of like Obi-Wan like looking after little baby Luke, right? From a distance, right? Because Uncle Owen probably wouldn't have let him around. Let's see. Hi there. Do you know any other languages? If not, what languages would you like to know? I am not fluent in anything except for English. I took Spanish and American Sign Language in high school, and I would love to learn more of it. Grasping another language was really hard for me. So people that are like bilingual or they speak multiple languages, like seriously props to you guys, because it was so hard for me to grasp. I really liked learning Spanish and I really liked learning American Sign Language, ASL, but it was hard to learn. But yeah, I just know like literally like basic stuff of, you know, like hola, me llamo Cassie, ¿cómo estás? You know, things like that. You know, like my name is C-A-S-S-I. You know, things like that. I don't know. There's other things that I remember bits and pieces, and sometimes I can pinpoint different words in sign language and Spanish, but it's something that I'd like to pick up again. Maybe my more mature mind would get it, but then again, a younger mind is probably easier to grasp new languages. So. Have you tried ASMR as Supergirl? I have not done a Supergirl roleplay. I've done a lot of different comic characters. Haven't done Supergirl. Probably will at some point. Okay, let's see. This is a couple, so let me answer them one by one. What would you do if you won the lottery? I would do a lot of things. It's like the sad bit of our society where if I won the lottery, I would make sure that my friends and family were taken care of, like on a basic level, right? Which is kind of sad, but I just want to make sure that everybody's taken care of, in that sense, everybody that I care about. I would also love to travel with that money. Just like basic things and adventures to enjoy life and things like that if I won the lottery. But the prime one is literally like just making sure that like my loved ones are taken care of. What's your dream career? It's always been something in like the film industry. Like I wanted to be a movie director so bad when I was a teenager, so bad, and I was accepted into a film school in California and it didn't work out, but like I was accepted but I didn't go. And so something in the film industry is something that, you know, I'm very passionate about. I love filming and editing, and I have all these ideas in my head, and so that's always like been the dream career, if you will. Dream. What's a cause you're passionate about? It's a lot of things that I'm like passionate about, but in like a general sense is like, you know, like the idea of like human rights, if you will, just like living rights, especially for me. Medically, I don't do too well, and it's very hard to live and survive in that sense, and I'm almost not allowed to have just like the basic human rights of like decent healthcare, things like that. So it's from a very personal level, myself and people I know, and you see all of these GoFundMe pages on, you know, Facebook of like people that are just, they need medical care and they can't afford it, and that's just so wrong to me. It hurts, and I understand. I just had to drain my bank account for medical care because my health insurance wouldn't cover anything for basic needs that I had for living, surviving. So I completely understand how damaging that type of thing can be, and it's not fair every time I see a GoFundMe page and it's for the medical costs and everything. It just shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't. So I'm pretty and prescriptions and things like that, you know. Shouldn't cost so much money when in other countries it doesn't cost that amount, you know. It's like a business to make money off of sick people, and it's gross. It's gross. So I'm very passionate about things like that, if you will. Your favorite dish to cook? I like doing different pastas. Like the other night we did like a big pasta dish that was like pasta, and then we did ground turkey, mushrooms, onions, and a mix of other stuff like in with the pasta. It was really good. I also love Mexican food, so I like cooking Mexican food to a degree. I need to learn more recipes and things like that, because it's like a version of Mexican food, not really like the authentic, delicious stuff. Yeah, I like doing different pastas. Sometimes I like doing different breakfasts too. Things I like to cook. I want to do some more cooking videos for you guys, so I gotta figure out what meals I want to cook for you. Oh, my coffee's getting low. I might need a refill. What makes you happy? You know what, one of like the lovely times of my day is when it's like I don't have to rush out the door to go do something or anything like that. It's like I get up, I go, I make a cup of coffee, I come sit at my computer, and I'm just like going through my emails or reacting to your guys's, replying to your guys's comments. It's like a simple happy, but just like a regular morning, waking up relaxed, sipping some coffee, and starting my day, which is a really funny and easy thing, but I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Let's add a little bit more coffee. All right, let's see what we have next. Let's find where I was. What prequel Jedi Council members would you like to see a backstory film about? Good question. Prequel. Well, let me just say that Aayla Secura is my favorite prequel Jedi, so I'd love to see more about her, but she's not a council member, but I do love Aayla Secura. I really like Kit Fisto, so that could be interesting to see more about him. Maybe like Shaak Ti. There's different things about Shaak Ti and her backstory or how she dies and things like that, depending on what you're watching, but that could be interesting. I also like Ki-Adi-Mundi, so yeah, maybe one of those. But yeah, Aayla Secura, I always like. I love Aayla Secura. Is there a particular roleplay you enjoy doing the most? I love like the entertainment inspired ones, like the character inspired ones, or you know, my Star Wars ones, my comic book ones that are inspired by movies. Like, I love doing those so much. It's fun to take something that I really like and put the ASMR spin on it. So those are my favorite. I do like medical ones too, probably because I know that you guys are gonna love it. I get so many amazing comments about my medical role plays, so. But yeah, I really like character ones. Would you do anything political for a coffee with Cass? I got a little bit of political there about healthcare. I don't know if people would find it relaxing to get too political. I have obviously my opinions on some political things that could be interesting to share, but I wonder if people would really care about that for like an ASMR video. So that's the question. If not, what about a look back on childhood? I could do something like that, maybe. Shared some things. Only child. That type of thing. Tracing my mug, can you hear it? Tap, 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 tap. A good topic for me personally would be anything paranormal. I feel you, girl. I am such a paranormal, bizarre and unusual freak, hence why I started my second channel. I love weird stuff. I always have since I was really little. What's been going on in the paranormal world? I haven't really heard anything. There was this funny post about Sasquatch sighting. Now, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, everyone, so Sasquatch is all about it, and I know a lot about Bigfoot. And there was like video of a Sasquatch, and I'm very picky on supernatural videos or paranormal videos, okay? Like, I edit for a living, you know, I'm very picky. I'm a believer of things, but I know when something's fake also. So I was watching this Bigfoot video and I was like, the shape's right, I gotcha. And then I looked at the top comment and it made me laugh so bad because it was like a highway video or something. I don't even know. So the camera was in the same spot and it's obvious that it was just the tree bark because the top comment was, if that's a Sasquatch, it's a real slow one because it's been like 10 hours and he's still in the same spot. It's so funny. It just made me laugh so hard because it did have like a Bigfoot shape on this tree, but the camera is like stayed there and it's still in that same spot, so it's probably not a Bigfoot. But so funny. Made me laugh. I keep joking that my house is haunted, not because of anything scary. I just have these cabinets that keep opening. So I've named the ghost Molly, and we're convinced that she just wants a cup of coffee. So here's to you, Molly. Paranormal. Anything else? I haven't really heard anything cool in the news or online. I like researching the different topics and things like that. That's why I made that Bizarre and Unusual World series on my second channel. That would be a dream career too. Being like the host of like a paranormal show or something like that, or an investigating show. That would be fun. I would love it a lot. Love it a lot. But yeah, I always like watch, I'll like look at like either ghost videos or Bigfoot videos or these different things, and some of them I find very interesting, and I actually have some family members that will watch with me because I can tell you how it was done if it's fake, just because, you know, I understand filming and photography and editing, so most of the time I can explain how I think it was fake, which makes me like, you know, I'm a believer, but I don't believe everything. There's fake stuff. There's the potential that this coffee with Cass is going to be lengthy, so hopefully you guys are enjoying a cup of coffee with me. What era do you think the next Star Wars movie should cover? I have no idea. I've heard it's going to be like old, like decades before Anakin old. So we'll see what they do. I don't know. Disney's a lot about the money these days, you know. So we'll see what they do. But era should it be? What era do I think it should be? I mean, I'd say that like I'd love to see the years that we missed between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. But you have the books, and they're never gonna like show you the trio, Luke, Han, and Leia, that type of stuff. You're never probably gonna get that except for in books and comics, and The Mandalorian is based in that time, about like 5 years after Jedi, I think. So you kind of get bits and pieces here and there. Did you ever reenact movies / scenes as a kid? If so, which ones? Oh, I did. So me and my friends, Charmed was a huge one. I was a big Charmed fan. So we ran around playing Charmed. That we had powers and we were defeating demons, and we played Charmed so often. Recess, life, after school, all the time we played Charmed. I also played Star Wars as well. We would find sticks that were lightsabers, and we would also find sticks that we would look through these piles of branches and sticks that were in one of our yards, and we found some that looked like blasters. So we played Star Wars with lightsabers and blasters. X-Men was another one that me and my friends played a lot, playing the different mutants with their powers and whatnot. Yeah, I think that those are probably the main ones that we played. I mean, obviously, I was quite creative in the mindset. Quite the imagination as a child, still do. So I played a lot of different games, especially inspired by stuff that I really liked. Do you have early memories of your first ASMR experience? So it's like between like my mom helping me go to sleep, and she would do like guided meditation type stuff when I was little. So that is like a early memory. And then in school, like when a teacher is like delicately explaining a math problem, I have a memory that's like that too. So that was probably around the same age. I was pretty young. So it's like my mom or like a teacher. That's probably what my like first ASMR experience type was, of course. But none of us knew what it was. What podcast do you listen to? First of all, I don't listen to podcasts anymore. Not for a lack of trying. I have so many audiobooks and podcasts that I need. Did I just mess up my lipstick? Maybe. So many that I need to listen to and catch up on, things like that. Mile Higher podcast is good topics that I enjoy with Kendall and Josh. I also like the Lore podcast because it's, once more spooky and paranormal topics that are all for me. And there's a couple other ones that like Fearless podcast, but I haven't listened to it in forever. I mean, my own podcast has been neglected since moving, so it's hard to listen, but I think the main ones that I've listened to in the past have been the Mile Higher podcast and the Lore podcast. Do you ever wish ASMR was still a small community? Or are you happy with its being so commercialized these days? I started watching in 2007, and since then it's totally blown up. So I see both sides. It was around when the community was pretty small, so I knew everybody, for the most part. And now, there's so many channels, and there's like channels that I've never heard of that have like 200,000 subscribers. It's funny. I like that it's grown in like a positive way, you could say. I do miss when it was just smaller, more like a community feel. But then there's the negative side of like the media of like not explaining what it is, or like bashing it, or it must be weird, or it has to be sexual, or it has to be this and this. And so I see goods and bads with it, if you will. So it kind of depends on the day for me. I do miss when it was smaller, but it's nice that it's grown, and there's some amazing channels that I love now that haven't been around for all the years, so it's good that it's grown for them to be into the picture. I'm just not always maybe a fan of like the media or how it is like very commercialized these days. That's my cat. Are you a full-time YouTuber? No. A lot of my work streams together because I do photo and video work, and so that very much goes in with the stuff that I do for YouTube. That would be nice, but YouTube doesn't pay me very well. Gotta pay those bills. So yeah, I do photography and video work as well, and then obviously I film these stuff for you guys. And I'm gonna be picking up something else too, so that's fun because I can't afford my medical bills. But no. What's your favorite type of coffee? So I like a good medium roast, especially if I'm like gonna drink it on the darker side or the blacker side. For like fancier drinks, I like white mochas and caramel macchiatos. As I said, this is just a holiday Christmas blend coffee with some caramel macchiato creamer in it. From the French press. Do you like oat milk? I've never tried oat milk, so I couldn't tell you. Do you have pets? I do have pets. I have cats and dogs. I've always had pets throughout my life. Cats, dogs, bunnies, fish, rat, hamster. I think that's it. But yeah, right now I have dogs and cats. What are your goals for 2020? I don't really do like the whole like New Year's resolution type thing, just because I never stick to it. From a beauty side of things, I've been trying to have more fun with my makeup and like do different like eye looks and things like that. So that's like a fun little thing. There's also like job wise and like personal life wise kind of things I'm working towards for this year. You know, just all of the adulting things that come with being an adult. So those are some of like my goals, or yeah, goals. I was like, what did it say? Goals for 2020. What are your thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker and The Mandalorian? Mandalorian is fantastic. Really good. I'm looking forward to second season. No spoilers. The Rise of Skywalker, I did my review. You can watch. I also have a podcast coming where my dad and I talk about The Rise of Skywalker, but I haven't edited it, and it's like really long, so that's going to be coming out as well. But yeah, I liked Rise of Skywalker. There were some things that were rushed, some things that I didn't really care for, but overall, I will take it. If you want further details, go watch that. I see that you have quite a few superhero roleplays. Do you like Marvel or DC more? There's a second part too. DC. Marvel is doing really good with movies and everything these days, so I've grown to love Marvel. I just happened to grow up with DC and being involved and loving the DC characters that I really hope that DC could kind of get their shit together and do some positive things. I'm still waiting for my Batgirl movie. Like, where is it? Batgirl's been my favorite superhero, like my person I grew up with, all of that jazz, and my reference is only the 60s Yvonne Craig Batgirl because that's like dear to my heart and all that, but I'm wanting a Batgirl movie and I'm so scared that they're just gonna screw it up or it's just never gonna happen because yeah, And I want it to be Barbara Gordon. Like, I need it to be Barbara Gordon Batgirl. That's what I need with my life. But, yeah, I do really like Marvel as well, but DC is just what I happen to grow up with. What are some of your favorite comic series? I really like the Bombshells, but I'm behind on it. That's a newer series with the the DC ladies, like in the 40s, the Bombshells. So I do really like that, but I'm very behind on it, as I am with most things. Where would you be if you weren't making ASMR videos? That's funny, because I don't know. I imagine I would still be doing something photography and video wise, because I was doing that before starting my channel. So I'd be doing something to that effect. I don't know where my anxiety would be, because filming calms me down. But I don't know where I would be. I'd have to be finding some way to get my creativity like out, because my channel is such like a creative outlet for me that I like being able to sit down and film things or plan things for my channel. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't do that. Might not be very happy. But I'd be doing something in the photo video realm, I'd imagine. Like to know more about my pets. My pets. You probably kind of see my dogs in some of my vlogs. 2 dogs. And then I have multiple kitty cats that I've had for years. They're all older babies. Take care of my babies. They moved with me. Yeah, had all of my cats since they were born. And then, except for one. One is quite a funny story. My old neighbors informed us that they were moving and they weren't taking their cat, humans, and that just look out for him. We've left him outside and we're not taking him. I hate people. So at my old place, I did fed him. He was very skitterish though, probably because his humans were jerks. And he kind of got, over time, he kind of got more comfortable with me. He'd like crawl up in my lap, he'd meow at the door, he'd come in little bits, and then he'd walk back outside, things like that. So as I'm like debating, as I'm like moving and everything, and I'm trying to decide if I'm taking him, because he was primarily like an outdoor cat. He wasn't really officially mine, although I was caring for him after the rude people left him. And it was like maybe a week before I was going to be moving, and he started coming inside every night and sleeping inside, and he'd stay inside, and he pretty much made the decision himself. He's like, oh, I hear you're moving, I'm coming with you. So he did, and he has become such a snuggle bug cat. He is the sweetest cat ever. I don't know why you would leave this feline, why you would leave this baby behind. He's so sweet, and he's literally, he loves to snuggle and cuddle up. He's so sweet. That's actually the cat you heard a little bit ago. But yeah, so it worked out, and he gets along with my other kitty cats, and so yeah, he made the decision to move with me after he was abandoned. But yeah, so kitty cats and my 2 dogs, and that's about it. I would adopt about 1 million other animals if I could, but I'm a real sucker for animals. But I take care of the ones that I have. Speaking of, that's one of my dogs. That's mad that I've shut the office door so he can't come and see me. He's fairly attached to me. He likes me a lot. Alright, and it looks like the final question if you could choose anything for free for life, what would you choose? And I think the adult answer to this is bills. Like just having no bills would be amazing, because then, you know, the money that I earn, I could go travel, or I could go do this fun or do that, and then that would include medical care. Like, I wouldn't have to worry about that. Like, if you're going to be specific, I would love to have free medical everything, then I wouldn't have to worry about anything. But yeah, bills, free bills for life. Then you couldn't even, like, if I don't have the bills, and like I could just have amazing meals all the time because I'd have the extra money. So yeah, I think free bills for life would be great because of the benefits of having the extra money to do other things. I think everyone watching would agree with that. Alright, lovelies. Thank you so much for having a longer coffee with Cass chat with me today in my little corner, in my chair, in my office. I'm working on Roleplay month. Can't wait to share more videos with you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.